God will to do it this way. Because now I feel more richer than I ever felt before. Because even though I had a lot of money and a lot of fame and was traveling the whole world, one thing I didn't have was friends. Never had a friend until I came to Maine.
Tony Atlas' amazing story begins near Roanoke, Virginia, where he grew up in a poor and very segregated area.
That time they had one store with the commissary.
Yeah.
And that's where it belonged to the railroad. And you go there and get them old high top shoes that was flat. And when you walk there like a duck. Because it took you about a month before the toe was dead. And then you got your old blue jeans. Back in them days, blue jeans, they live up to their name. When you took them off, your legs was blue. And then they had the pre-washed denims like they did.
I don't know about your leg turning blue. But that made me think about, this was horrible. If you had on the white sneakers or the boots, tan, even if they wouldn't tan, they just regular tan, whatever tan boots. The ink spot or the ink would get in the crease of the boot. Where the boot sometimes they get the creases at, and it was stuck there. And the brand new boots with the ink dye across the boot. I used to hate that.
Now, so the way I was raised up, and all of a sudden I started lifting weights, I started getting all these compliments.
A star high school athlete, Tony was just 20 when a wrestling promoter discovered him in a weight room.
I was in there working out, and a gentleman by the name of Sandy Scott. And he wanted me to come to Charlotte, North Carolina to train to be a wrestler. So, I already had an amateur background in both wrestling and boxing and weightlifting and bodybuilding. So he thought it'd be a good addition, to the circuit.
Tony was a sensation, rocketing to the top of the wrestling world. He says crowds loved him because he could be as mean as a rattlesnake.
In my day, they promoted what was real. If you couldn't go into a bar and whoop 3 guys simultaneously, you ain't gonna wear no belt. That's why a lot of the wrestlers didn't like Hogan, because he never went through the initiation. He never went through the hazing. See, they would take me to a bar where black people wasn't allowed to be at that time, and have me to sit down all over beer and wink at a white girl. And during that time, that was taboo. And then they sat back in the cars and see if I could fight my way out the bar.
There's a wall at Fitness World that displays some of Tony's memorabilia. There is, of course, the fabled pin of Hulk Hogan, but Tony doesn't consider that one of his biggest moments.
But that time he wasn't Hulk Hogan. What made him was he got in the movies with Sylvester Stallone, the Rocket movie, and from that moment on...
Yeah, I heard Hogan started as the bad guy.
Like a rocket.
A guy who has his respect is Muhammad Ali.
Yeah. Very nice man. It's hard to picture him as a fighter when you talk to him in person. Yeah. He should have been a comedian. Very likable person, very likable.
Tony was a fun guy himself, making as much as $350,000 a year back in the 1970s, and he wasn't ready for it. He crossed promoters by not showing up and took advantage of his money and notoriety.
I would go into a car dealer and say, "What do you want for that car there?" He said, "I want 10 grand. Give me the keys." Zoom. I mean, you got stopped for speeding by police, but that's Tony Atlas. Oh, slow down, Mr. Atlas. Zoom. I go in the hotel, we kick somebody out. Okay, Mr. Atlas. You got that type of treatment all the time.
Remember, he said something about a video with I think it's Tito Santana. I drew a reaction to months ago. He Tito said she put 5 or 6 grand down on this housing complex or something. He said, "Oh no, that'd be all right. Let me get this Cadillac." Next thing you know, he wish he had got it. Wish he should have got it. I don't know if he said it was 5 or 10 grand. But he said that complex is worth the hundreds and thousands now. He said he wish he should have got it.
All the time. And what do when you get that type of treatment constantly, you lose respect not only for your other people, but for yourself. And you didn't care what people think about you because you had so much money.
Crossing promoters like Vince McMahon did not bode well for Tony. He came to Maine to wrestle in a minor league, a league that went bankrupt right after he got here. Tony
that was
had
something.
it all.
That was awful.
I just went through a billing divorce and had no money.
Homeless.
So I ended up working construction, I worked for the city of Auburn for a while, and then winter came. I found myself out of work, so I ended up sleeping in Kennedy Park, and I was homeless from the month of November all the way up until about March, until my wife found me sleeping underneath a park bench, and she took me home, and then she got me to go and get educated to become a certified personal trainer, and the rest is history.
Now Tony is comfortable with himself. He enjoys his work in the gym, and he's also back as a consultant with WrestleMania. It seems Maine was the tonic that Tony Atlas needed.
Can I do that?
Yeah. You gotta eat your veggies, you gotta drink your milk, and you must do your homework, young man. Yeah.
When Tony wrestled, he was one of the meanest guys around. Now he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet.
That's something, boy. I know this is an old clip, '08. So how old was? They say he's 70 now. So how old was he in '08? He said it's almost 20 years ago. I guess he was in the late 50s then, because even now, 70 years old, this man's still built with the arms. With it, the arms ain't going nowhere. This man's still in the gym. It's a little bit smaller, but the arms are still there. Yeah. And then that picture with Hogan, because he was right about that. He said Hogan wasn't Hogan until after the Rocky, because I forgot Hogan. That was so long ago. Hogan started as the bad guy. Hogan or Hulk Boulder or Terry Boulder, something like that. Yeah. I think he said he beat Hogan and he slammed him. I think, yeah. I think he said he wrestled Hogan more than once back then. But yeah, and then this man being on the street for almost 2 years. Okay, what the other interview he's talking about? Laying on the ground and the legs, laying there so long his legs froze up in the ice almost, couldn't move. Or yeah, they did freeze in ice, couldn't move. And they had to get him out of there. Oh boy, that's hell right there.